We're ready to get some weathering done on the car here. We've let it sit for a couple days and get good and dry. So this is kind of a multi-stage process. You can see when I painted the basswood color on here, I didn't paint the entire inside because I'm going to paint this kind of a weathered steel look in here. So after we get all the weathering done, we'll tape it off and we'll paint the inside a different color here. So before we start this, one of the things we're going to have to do is we're going to take and take our Midwest 2x12s, and we have to cut two pieces that are the width of the car here, and they're going to be the footboard here. Well, it goes down here, but so cut them the width of the cars. We'll need one for each end. That way when we weather them, we'll set them aside, and when we get around to gluing those on, then they'll match the car body. So the first step to getting the color is to, what I do is I give the car one or two washes of some black India ink and alcohol, and then I followed up with some acrylic washes here. So to start this, you're going to want to take and get 1 pint of the 91% isopropyl alcohol. This is got this at Walmart, and then get some black India ink. And what I do is I made a mix here. You can see it's 1 bottle of the isopropyl alcohol and 1 full tablespoon of black India ink, and then get a kind of a soft, it doesn't have to be a good brush, this one's kind of flared out, and then we're going to do a wash on here. So basically the way I just start this, get some of the India ink wash on there, and we're just going to start just flowing it onto the car, getting it in all the cracks and crevices here. You'll see that wood grain, if you've grained it, really pop out of there. But you got to really make sure you work this in all around the car. This isn't like painting. This is so just get it on the car. But just make sure every area has it on there. Now this is going to dry a lot lighter, so generally I do 2 of these to get to the point I want. Now you could mix up a stronger batch of the India ink. You could do 2 tablespoons of black to the ink, but I like the 1 because you can't go back. If this ends up being, if you mix it with the 2 tablespoons and it's too dark, it's done. There's no returning. So especially you can use this on raw wood and it makes a nice weathered wood, but if you same thing, if you put too much the India ink mix is too dark, you can't undo it. So I'd rather do 2 washes and have it look the way I want than to try to do it in one shot and ruin my model. Of course, on this car, if you didn't like it, you could just repaint it the base color and start all over again. These ends are a little tricky to get in there. You just got to get the stuff on there any way you can. Just poke it up in there and then turn it over and poke it down in here. That's why we have a bad brush. You're going to see that it's going to kind of come through on the inside. I like to go and do the back side of the side I just did too right away to kind of blend that out so you don't see really dark edges where it seeps through. So come in on this side here. Make sure you get the top. don't worry too much about your hands touching it. Make sure you get behind all these vertical end posts. Get it on the ends. Get it on the bottom. Just pretty much get it everywhere. This stuff will dry pretty fast. We'll get a good look at it here in a couple minutes and see if we need more. Okay, I think I've got it all, so we're just going to let that sit for a little while and let that dry up and see where we're at here. And don't forget to do your doors and those footboard pieces on the end. Okay, my first wash is dry and just took a couple minutes, and I'm looking it over, and I'm going to do another wash in this car because I've got areas that really didn't get much of the first one here. And now it's a good time. You're going to see some of those little fuzzies that you missed. They're going to pop out, like this one right here. Just go ahead and get a tweezers and just tear those out of there. If you see any more, just pick them off so they don't show up later on. So just kind of go around and inspect it for little fuzzy pieces. There's a really big one right there. And just go ahead and clean it all off. And then I'm going to go ahead and give another wash and we'll see how it looks. Okay, I've got my second wash done, and I'm pretty happy with the results of this one here. It's kind of the look we're going for. The second wash I put on was, I don't know if I was maybe actually kind of cheated and did about a wash and a half. I just kind of slowly worked around the car, and I used, the brush was a little bit drier. I didn't actually flood the wash on like on the first one. I would just kind of go over areas and just make sure it was on every piece, kind of like that. There's a little bit left of the brush here, but I would just make sure it stayed on there, and I didn't try to, how can I explain this? I brushed it across there, but I tried not to go back, so I would do a lot of pieces. I just hit them and just get the wash on so that you don't wipe it back off, and just made sure it was on every piece. And then because I worked slowly, as I got around the car, I could look to make sure that it went in all the grain, and if it didn't, I'd go and get a little bit more on each spot. So it's kind of a wash and a half maybe, but I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to let this dry good and overnight, and then come back, and then we're going to use some acrylics to kind of put some more browns and black tones in here, just to kind of make it look a little more woody maybe. So that's good for that.